Welcome to Business Legal Lifecycle TV, the live TV show all about the legal aspects of your business. We've designed this TV show to educate you in simple to understand plain English ways for complex legal terms, to help you understand why you undertake certain legal aspects of your business, and to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? And that is the average time that it takes for a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. Have you ever wanted to get legal advice but didn't understand what was going on? And do you feel like there's a divide between lawyers and their clients? If that's so, then this TV show is for you. We've designed the show to empower you and your business with the knowledge and tools to help ensure that those problems that so many businesses encounter don't happen to you. Business Legal Lifecycle TV delivers a twice-weekly show focusing on the legal aspects of your business. At lunchtime on Mondays, we present Fast Fix Monday, a quick 5 to 10 minute show to give you some actionable steps to consider for this week in your business. And at lunchtime on Wednesdays, we present our in-depth show. It's generally between 30 minutes to an hour to go through the complicated legal aspects of your business in a simple to understand and plain English way. That can be through educational pieces or interviews with experts in the fields. We welcome you to Business Legal Lifecycle TV, and here's our show.
And today we're talking about the danger of what's called a patent troll and how it stifles innovation. So Jeremy, can you explain exactly what is a patent troll?
So yes, Craig, patent trolls are interesting businesses. What they do is they basically go around and look for companies that go into liquidation that might have owned patents, and they will take those patents and buy them up from the liquidator. So often a company that goes into liquidation, the main asset that the company will have will be its intellectual property, and often that might be a patent. If that patent is worth something, then the patent troll will buy that, and then they'll use that patent that they've bought to enforce against other people that might be using those patentable products, even though the person who invented it is in liquidation.
Right, okay. And so obviously it wouldn't just be in Australia, but in terms of legislation in Australia, what do you think needs to change to the current regime?
Yeah, I think that the legislation in Australia is a lot better than a lot of other countries. We've been quite lucky that a lot of the problems that have inflicted other countries, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but other countries aren't, it's not as bad here. But probably the main thing that could change is the requirement that when you have a patent assigned to you, that you actually need to use that patent in your business. So right now, if you buy a patent, you can go and buy the intellectual property, and that patent is given to you. But if you're not using it, well, you still own it. If there was some requirement that the person, when they buy the patent, has to actually use it, then that would protect them a lot better and would stop people from being able to buy these patents en masse and then try to extort money out of other businesses who might be using a similar patentable product.
Right, okay. So as you said, obviously we were talking about Australia, but if we went to a different country, say the US, could you explain the difference between the Australian legislation and the US legislation where patent trolls have become very prominent?
So the main difference is the ease of actually enforcing the patent and the ease of getting a patent. So in the US and other countries, it's very easy to actually get a patent. In Australia, it's actually a lot harder to get patents. And so what they've found in other countries is because it's easier to get a patent, they're able to, patent trolls are able to buy up lots of little patents and then go and enforce them against people. In Australia, that isn't as bad, and because you actually need to meet some certain criteria about the usefulness of the patent. You don't need to meet that for the assignment of the patent, but you do need that for the actual patent itself. So in the US and other countries, it's become a lot more problematic. And to give you an example, there was a company that bought some IP of a foreign company. It was actually a UK company, and it bought some IP that were owned by an Asian company that was used by telephone companies in Australia. And they actually tried to enforce that against companies like Telstra and other companies in Australia to say they couldn't use that technology without paying them some money. Now, because of the type of patent and the fact that it was an overseas patent, so far Telstra and the other companies have been successful in stopping that patent from being enforced against them in Australia.
Okay. So just one final one, Jeremy. If you were approached by a patent troll, what's your advice about what you should do?
Yeah, so if you're approached by a patent troll, the first thing is to go and get legal advice. So usually you'll be approached by way of a letter, maybe from another lawyer, or maybe from the patent troll themselves. And the letter will say that they own this patent, that you're using it without their consent, and attempt to enforce that against you. What you should do is you definitely don't pay them any money straight away. It's like anyone who's trying to extort money out of you. As soon as you pay them something, they'll try and take a mile. So don't pay them anything. Try and talk to them. Talk to a lawyer. Make sure that that's actually enforceable before you actually do that, and pay them any money. And make sure that you're getting the right advice from someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's patent trolls. Obviously, the danger of it and how it can stifle innovation. It seems like Australia's sort of taking some steps to help that, but other countries may not. But as we go forward, hopefully other countries get on board, and innovation is something that everyone's encouraged to do. So that's it for Monday's Fast Fix. On this coming Wednesday, we're going to take a deeper dive into protecting intellectual property. Not just about patents. We'll talk about trademarks, copyright, those sorts of things. So join us on this Wednesday for protecting intellectual property. Thank you for joining us. I'm Craig Mason.
And I'm Jeremy Stratton, and we'll see you on Wednesday.